Well, I'm on the farm today, and it's a beautiful day, and got a little project I want to work on the Farmall 350. Now, right here is the 350 in all its glory. Now, right over here, I got my John Deere 5055D, the backbone of this farm, and 348 square baler. And what I'm going to try to do is fashion, let me get around on the other side. What I'm going to try to do is fashion up an equal angle hitch like this, except one that fits the Farmall 350. Now, the purpose of this equal angle hitch is right there's 14 and a half inches from the end of the PTO shaft on the tractor. But what this equal angle hitch does is moves the hitch pin for this baler, and it moves the center of the pivot to the center of the PTO shaft. And what that does is when you go into a turn, and I'm kind of in a turn right now because it's not straight, but if this one moves this way, this one back here moves this way. And so what you're doing is the angle of this PTO yoke and this PTO yoke, even though they're going in opposite directions, they're at the same angle. And that takes the stress, doesn't bind the PTO quite as much as it would if it was sitting up here. So in order to accomplish that, John Deere uses what they call an equal angle hitch. And this type hitch is used on balers and mower conditioners, and I don't know, down through the years there have been a lot of variants of these kind of things. So the problem I got with the Farmall is it doesn't have a traditional drawbar. And this distance from here to here is about 7.5 inches. What I've done, me being the hotshot engineer that I am, I have designed up a plate that will bolt on to this fast hitch bracket. And the way I have it designed, it'll bolt here and here, and it'll extend out. And I don't plan on taking this drawbar extension off, if you will. This is factory from International, and I think the manual calls for them to be bolted on top. It's really irrelevant whether you bolt them on top or bottom. I think the most important thing is for the screws to come up instead of going down, so that you don't have a lot of you don't have something hanging down to grab trash on. So let me come back. So what I've done, and I'll insert some pictures here, is I brought my took my fast hitch off, which you've already seen, and I took it where I could do some measurements, and I took it to work, and where we have computer CAD program, and I took some measurements, and then I modeled the extension plate. And I'm just going to insert here a couple of pictures. The first one is where I had the first picture here is where I made a cutout. I printed the drawing, and I taped it up to the fast hitch upside down, sitting in the floor upside down in my office. And then second picture is where it fits, where it bolts on. and I've got the bolt holes kind of cut through the center so that I can see that it actually fits. And you know, kind of what I'm doing here is measuring twice and cutting once. And then the third picture is the plate sitting on the fast hitch from the computer generated model. And the fourth picture is the same way. So those are showing it fitting on the drawbar, but not interfering with the existing drawbar extension. I did not want to take it off. And then the fourth picture, or the fifth picture, is the actual plate. I had a steel services company. I created what's called a DXF file. I converted my solid model. The program is SolidWorks, but I converted my solid model drawing to an AutoCAD DXF file, which is drawing exchange format. And from that, the steel company that I used, they can laser cut the plate exactly to that geometry. And so that fifth picture shows that plate. So right here is the plate that was made, the actual plate. And then what I got to do is get it up here and bolt it on. And I'll try to bolt it from the underside, but let me let it down here and I'll come back and talk a little more. Alright, so I got the plate bolted on, and I elected to bolt it from the underside just like this one. And I designed it, I think, with a 1/4 inch gap all the way around. And I'd say I'm pretty close. I did not want to paint this bracket until I bolted it on and gave it a workout, and then I'll put it on my workbench, and on my winter projects I'll paint it. Hopefully this thing will work. And I've got one more thing to do. Let me come back. Alright, so the last piece was this pin right here, and I put that on, and my John Deere Baler comes down over it, and then it requires a clevis pin to go through like that. And when I bought this, there were a couple of styles I could have used, and one of them, this shoulder right here, was really tapered up, and I felt like it would be better for that hitch to come down on a flat surface, so I elected this one. And on my John Deere tractor, this little latch pin's oriented front to back, so I tried to make it do that. Alright, so I got the equal angle hitch off my John Deere, and I've got it up here, and there's the hole that is 14 or 14 and a half from the end of this shaft. And obviously, if it was a drawbar, this pin would go into it. And what the equal angle hitch does is moves this point, I think 7.5 inches up here. And so I've accomplished that goal. I got one little glitch here that I got to work through, and that is, this is a category 2 pin for an implement, and of course I got it bolted onto the bottom here. And the diameter on this thing is 1 1/8 inch, but the diameter on this is 1 1/4. This is the same diameter as a pin for a top link on a category 3 hitch. So I've got 1/8 inch of slop, and that's too much. I need to figure out how to get this pin diameter increased, whether to replace it or get a shim for it. I'm not sure quite how that's going to work yet. I need to do a little bit of due diligence on that. And so I will follow up. So we'll talk to you later.